So what we have here, guys, is a gable end truss. Okay, this will be something that you're going to basically frame out your roof with. And this will go on the very end, the two ends where you're going to be attaching some plywood, you're going to be attaching siding to, so those vertical boards are basically your studs to nail your siding to. Okay? And they are spaced, most of the time, every 16 inches. If done properly, we're spacing 16 on for the studs here, okay? So every 16 inches. Now, let's say, for fun, say this guy right here is 10 inches, okay? So that's 10 inches. We got 16 inches. We put some inch marks on there. Say that's 10 inches. Anyone want to guess what this guy is right here? Could you figure it out from what we've got? I don't know. Well, maybe we can math this one. I mean, this is a math class along with the construction class. Let's math some stuff. Well, 10 is to 16 as x, the other vertical component. So the 10's our vertical component. And then what is the base here? This part right here. Ooh, that's no longer 16. That's 32. And if I were to cross multiply, right? 320 and 16x. So 320 equals 16x. Well, x is going to equal 20. 20 inches. That's double. Okay. So that's 20 inches right there. What about this one right here? Maybe I should use a different color and a different variable, you know? That'd probably be smart, being that this is math. Okay, so let's call that one y. What if I set up the same type of proportion? I had 10 over 16, that's my original, equals y over, well, in this case, I'm 3 studs away. 16 times 3 is 48. So I'd have 480 equals 16y. So y is going to equal, well, fancy that, 30. So that guy is 30 inches. And believe it or not, we're going up by 10 inches each time. So this next one here is going to be 40, 50, and 60. And this one, obviously, I picked up some nice numbers for this, but the concept is the same. You know what we have right now? We have ourselves some similar triangles. So this triangle right here is similar to this triangle right here, which is similar to this triangle right here, which is similar to this triangle right here. In fact, all of them are similar to each other. Woo! I can keep drawing triangles all day, air day, because it's my favorite. Okay, so I've got similar triangles in this awesome truss. So I can use proportions to find out the missing lengths. Or I can just, think about like, oh, well, if I'm going up by 16 each time, or excuse me, over by 16 each time, I'm going over by the common amount. I'm going to go up by the same amount. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's an easy way to figure it out. Otherwise, let's just say I've got this truss up there and I want to put some nailers in so I can put some plywood up, because when I tore off my siding, I didn't have really many nailers. I had to add some. So I can just basically be like, well, what's this one? And if I want to go over 16 and 16 and 16, I don't have to keep on walking up there and figuring it out. They should work out proportionally, right? Because they're similar triangles. Math. All right, so right now we got Snoop Dogg chilling outside of HHS. He's just, woo, what's up? Okay. Now he's 6 foot tall and he casts a 12-foot shadow while standing outside the school. If the school casts a 42-foot shadow, how tall is the school? That's a great question. Now let's just take a moment to realize how cool it is that he's chilling outside the school. Ooh. That's a fire rhyme right there, Snoop Dogg. You feel free to take that. Feel free to use it in the next hit. Okay, let's math. So Snoop Dogg is 6 foot tall and he casts a 12-foot shadow. So he's 6 foot tall, casts himself a 12-foot shadow. Oh, I think I can make a triangle with that. A right triangle. 6 foot tall, 12-foot shadow. I dig it. Now that school is casting itself a big old 42-foot shadow. And we want to find out how tall that school is. My goodness, we got ourselves another triangle. And if I could draw them nicely, you would actually see that these are indeed similar right triangles. Think about it. The sun is coming from, I guess in this case, if we're talking the shadow coming out here, that sun is coming from way up in here. It's coming from the same spot, so it's going to help cast that same shadow. It creates a similar triangle effect. Well, if this right down here is 42 feet, well, I can set myself a proportion. Similar figures. Awesome. Well, my height of his shadow to the length of his shadow is equal to the height of Snoop Dogg to the length of his shadow is equal to the height of the school to the length of its shadow. And I can just go ahead and cross multiply. Well, 6 times 42 is 252. I need my calculator for that one. And that's equal to 12x. And if I divide by 12 to solve for x, I'm going to get 21. So we got 21 feet for my height. That is an interesting looking one that I have there. I think I was thinking about making the F for feet. Okay, 20-foot height. Now, I have a feeling that it's a little bit taller than that in real life. I kind of just made these numbers up, but we mathed it in an awesome way. We set up some similar triangles. We use that little proportion action. Proportions are awesome. They're super useful all the time. Unit conversions, finding out stuff with similar figures, you name it. Proportions work wonders. But there are other ways of doing this. We're going to learn some of that stuff on the CTE side of things, on the construction side of things later on. Awesome. America.